I just finished up a run, and the only reason we went on a run today is because I did not complete my cardio. I only did 7 minutes as my Stairmaster because I had to go pick up my mother from work. And I could have easily gone home and told myself, I don't want to go on a run, right? It's not part of my system to go on a run. In my system, the only thing that matters is doing the training, journaling, meditating, sleep, nutrition, diet, core and cardio. Right at the gym, my core and cardio. Cardio is mostly low intensity, incline walks or Stairmaster. And I don't need to go on runs because it's not part of my program. I don't need to go on runs because it's uncomfortable. I hate fucking going on runs. It's hard because I already went to the gym today and I already worked out and my body's already tired. I had a hard day in the gym today because I just wasn't feeling it. I don't know why I didn't feel it. I slept good. I ate good food. I had proper pre-workout meal. I had my caffeine. I had the pre-workout. I trained hard in the gym, but for some reason, I just couldn't lock in. I didn't have the proper mind-muscle connection. I didn't have this. I didn't have that, right? And all these excuses piled up in my head. And it's so easy for me to just tell myself, I've been consistent, right? It's okay. It makes sense to have a day off, right? Maybe my body needs to chill out, right? Perhaps my body needs to relax. Maybe I've been going too hard for the past few weeks. Maybe perhaps I've been overtraining. And all these excuses come from your inner bitch, right? And I truly hesitated for a while. In my head, driving home, I was thinking to myself, should I post a story where I say I'm gonna go for that run? Because the moment I speak it, I must follow through with it, or else I'm not who I say I am. The moment I spoke about me going for a run, I had to follow through with that. And you don't want to be the best version of yourself. You just become it. You don't want to be the best version of yourself and you write down all this shit, you manifest it, you journal it, and you never act on it. No. The way you become the best version of yourself is by acting like it right now. What would the best version of you do right now? That's what I was asking myself. What would the best version of myself do right now? If the best version of myself was having a shit day, where he couldn't get the mind-muscle connection, where he was feeling weak as shit, I barely got 3 reps of 236, and yes, benching 236 is good, you know, but normally I'm able to bench 2 plates for 8. I hit 236 or 235 pounds for 7 for the first time over a year ago. And it was just getting to my head. Why the fuck am I not moving the weight properly, right? Why is my strength so much lower? I've been eating a proper amount of food, right? I've been eating healthy. I've been eating the proper foods. I slept really good last time. I slept better than most nights. I've been trying to fix my sleep schedule. And yesterday was one of the better nights, even though I still slept way too late. I stayed up a little bit late going over the video that I posted yesterday. But I still went to bed. I have a terrible habit of going on my phone before bed. And I know it's horrible for you. And I know you sound like a geek, it's corny, right? It doesn't matter if you go on your phone before bed. Yes, the fuck it does. There is definitely a difference in your recovery if you go on your phone 30 minutes before bed. And sure, I know for a fact if I said these things a year ago, 6 months ago, if I said this shit to myself, it would go so far over my head. Oh, you don't gotta be doing all that. You're doing too much, right? It's okay to go on your phone before bed. It's okay to have the fucking sweet treat. It's okay to stay out late. It's okay to miss a few reps in the gym. This all starts leaking into your daily standards. Even if when I stopped training my core and cardio this summer, because I couldn't control myself. I went to a slump where I kept on ordering food. I kept on eating food from the pantry. I kept on eating fucking cereal. Once my diet started to fade, it slowly seeped into my training style. I hadn't skipped core and cardio for almost a year straight at this point. I started hitting core and cardio consistently every single fucking time since last year, last summer. And the moment my diet started slipping, I told myself the reason I'm slipping in my diet is because I went too hard on my previous cut. And don't get me wrong, I did fuck up on my previous cut. I messed up the nutrition, right? And I learned from it, right? I've never done that ever again. I messed up on my nutrition. I messed up my hormones a little bit, but I was giving my brain a excuse that I validated enough for me to start skipping core and cardio, something that was standard for me. And I wonder why in the summer it was so difficult for me to speak to strangers. I grew up in Italy, Rome, and I had plenty of friends, but I kept switching schools, and for the last 2 years I was in Italy, I had a close friend group, two really close friends, but then I had to leave to come to Canada. Then once I came to Canada and wanted to make friends here, I couldn't because I couldn't speak the language properly. I was having trouble in school. People had already created their friend groups. I felt like my interests didn't apply to them. I don't remember exactly what I was doing in 4th grade, little 8-year-old pre, right? But I do remember for the first 3 weeks I didn't speak to anybody. When my sister, she had a friend group, she would ask me, oh yeah, how are your friends doing? How are your friends doing? I lied to my parents. I said, yeah, I'm making friends. I had no friends, right? And as a child, you don't really think about these things, right? But I was just in my own world, because I used to watch anime as a kid. I mean, I still watch a little bit now, but I used to be like completely watching anime, being into video games, all these things, right? And nobody around me seemed to be interested in the same things as me. It was hard for me to speak to them because I had a tough time speaking English. I wasn't doing well in school. I was fat. My skin color was different. And as an 8-year-old, I wasn't thinking that people were racist or anything, but I was most definitely thinking that people thought that I was stupid because I wasn't doing well in school, because I was struggling in school. Because my teachers wanted to help me out more than the other kids, and the kids saw that. And the only reason I started to create friends was because after 3 weeks, one of the teachers pointed out, oh, why don't you hang out with friends, right? She brought me to a friend group, and then I started hanging out with those guys. But after the year was over, I didn't hear from them. The following year, they were in different friend groups. I had to make new friend groups again, and then the next year, and then the next year, then the next year. I made new friends again and again and again. And the 8th grade, I had to tell myself that I couldn't let. It's not that I thought that I need to start taking school seriously so I can have the confidence. I need to start taking my health seriously so I can have the confidence. I wanna lose the weight so I can have the confidence. I purely just wanted to lose weight and not be fat anymore because I didn't want to be fat anymore. I wanted to be good in school because the entire time I always wanted to be that person, that version of myself that was good in school, that was in shape, that was good at sports. But I never acted on it as a child. But obviously, as a child, you're not that reflective. You're not thinking about these things. You're just a child, right? You want Pringles, you eat them, right? But then I started to work on myself more, and then I built confidence, and I kept on progressing in my sport. I kept on progressing in my physique, and it was, I lost a lot of fat going into the 8th grade, going into the 9th grade. I got into better shape. I was still not eating perfect, right? I didn't know everything about nutrition or diet, But I got better and better and better. My confidence grew. I started making more and more friends, and then after COVID hit, I stopped. I stopped caring about being better at school. I stopped caring about school, period. I stopped caring about my physique, period. I thought that there was no point in me playing my sport if there's COVID, right? Which is stupid. I don't want to get into COVID, but I had genuine belief that there was no more point because the rest of high school is going to be, there's going to be no more sports going on. You can't even socialize properly. I didn't feel like there was a point in me doing well in school, taking care of my body, all these things. I was addicted to fucking eating junk food, staying up late, playing video games. And I still thought to myself when I went back to school the following year after that summer from 9th to 10th grade that I just wasted my talent and it was just pointless to work on myself. And obviously you have confidence issues when you are not the version of yourself that you believe you can be. And then the insecurities came back, right? I stopped working hard in school. I felt the insecurities come back in. I stopped working on my physique. I felt the insecurities come back in. I started to get worse acne. I started to get worse in school. I started to get bad relationships with my parents. And it was just hard after hard after hard until I eventually started to take care of my body again, started to take care of my studies again, and then 11th, 12th grade, everything, my confidence grew back and I could start to be in a friend group again, right? And honestly, I have to thank my friends for that because they came up to me, they asked me to hang out, all this kind of stuff, but the confidence started growing a lot more once you started focusing and becoming the version of yourself that you could have been. Now, after high school is when I really locked in. My confidence grew, of course, because when you go from you developing to you plummeting to you developing again, you start to believe that you can become the best version of yourself again. It wasn't anything insane. After I plummeted, I was still eating shit food. I was still inconsistent with my training. I was still inconsistent with my studying. But the jump from zero to something creates the illusion. And is also, you're going to make the most progress going from zero to something. So I reaped the rewards of that and my confidence grew. And once high school was over, I was consistent every single day. Had not missed a gym session that I scheduled. I've gone into slumps when it comes to diet, but I've bounced back. You have to be the version of yourself. That's your dream version. You have to behave like him today in order to become him in the future. Your brain will believe that you are that version of yourself if you continuously act like him, if you continuously eat like him, train like him, speak like him. You must behave like that version of yourself today. And the reason your brain has a hard time believing that you are that version of yourself is because every single time that you made a promise to yourself, you have broken it. Your mind doesn't believe in you because you give it irrefutable evidence that you are not that version of yourself. The moment you tell yourself, I'm gonna do this, and you follow through with it, your brain's gonna begin believing in you. And there's so many reasons why I say you should not go from 0 to 100 immediately. You shouldn't go 0 to 100 on your diet, 0 to 100 on your training, 0 to 100 and locking in your sleep from the get-go. There's a reason I say that. And part of it is because you don't want to create that mistrust between yourself and your brain, right? That's still part of it. But the major reason is your brain literally does not value big jumps over small jumps. It sees wins as equal, and it actually prefers immediate progress, immediate small wins. If you can just train your brain to believe that the win is you behaving like the best version of yourself, eating the good food, tracking your macros, making sure you get your steps in, doing the core, doing the cardio, training hard, being present, journaling, meditating, and those wins are genuine wins. Your brain will be triggered. The part of your brain, the reward system, is triggered in your brain every single time you recognize that as a win. And you continue to get momentum every single day. The system works because the brain values the inputs. This is how you get truly consistent. My brain genuinely valued every single workout that I hit. That's why I could be consistent for almost 3 years now. It's been almost over 2.5 years, I think. Yeah, almost over 2.5 years since I've been consistent and have not missed a single day. I've only missed days when I've been sick and I had to take intentional breaks. I've overtrained multiple times where I haven't missed a single day of training for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and I had to take a 3-day break. Or I got sick for 2 weeks or something like that, but that's obviously, when you get sick, you need to let your body rest. It is so insanely bad for you to train while being sick because your body hasn't recovered and you can't push as hard, okay? There's a difference between you being sick and you lacking sleep, okay? If you lack sleep and you've trained the following day, then you gotta fucking train. You have to make that a discipline because you have to teach yourself you need to get the proper sleep, okay? But if you're sick, that's something you cannot truly control. Perhaps you can take accountability on it, and you should have maybe not been out late, or maybe you didn't wash your hands or something, right? Maybe you ate some food that was dirty. I don't fucking know, right? There's a certain level of accountability that you can take for getting sick, but there's only a certain level of accountability you can take for getting sick. But the point is that throughout the day today, I had so many excuses in my head to become the old version of myself that would have skipped the core, skipped the cardio. Because that version of myself was only myself 2 years ago. Like, that's really not that long of a time. 2 years ago, I would go to the gym, train, chat a little bit, socialize a little bit, and then leave. I would tell my friends, oh, I should do cardio, oh, I should train core. Nah, I'm just gonna go home. Go home and do what? Fucking go Netflix? You have homework to do? You're acting like you won't be able to complete that homework if you're in the gym for an extra 30 minutes. Don't you think that you would perform better if your body was healthier? Wouldn't you believe that if you did your core, did your cardio, you stretched, you did your mobility, your legs feel better, there's less tension there, you're able to move around easier. When you take off your shirt, you have more confidence. Wouldn't that actually benefit you? But when you validate the inner bitch, the excuses, you allow your standards to break, your brain stops believing in you, and you return to your pussy self, the version of you who does not want to continue going hard. And that's the only thing that was going through my head during the entire day, because I kept on making excuse after excuse after excuse. I was getting pissed off with myself because I couldn't push hard. Why can't I push hard today? It's just an off day. Maybe it's just an off day. Oh, maybe I shouldn't go hard. Maybe I shouldn't put the weights that high, right? Maybe I shouldn't go that hard in the gym today. And if I valued that excuse and gave it power, I would have dropped the weight. I would have not gone to failure. I wouldn't have gone on the run, right? It would be so easy for me, especially at the start right now, to have not spoken about the fact that I only got 7 minutes of cardio in, right? And not spoken about the fact that I believe that I should complete cardio today. If my brain believes that the best version of myself would have just completed the cardio outside of the Stairmaster and I didn't follow through with that, that's me being inauthentic. That's where the lack of confidence comes in. That's where you go back to being that version of yourself who wants to be the best version of yourself. You become the version of yourself who listens to that inner bitch, and that inner bitch becomes stronger and louder and louder. The inner bitch never leaves. The war in your head between you and the inner bitch never goes away. And the inner bitch gets stronger alongside your willpower to match you, okay? And when you listen to the inner bitch, you become weaker. And if you never, ever fight the inner bitch, you never pick up your sword and fight it in the war, the only thing that you're doing is keeping yourself weak and keeping that inner bitch strong. The moment you pick up the sword and you start fighting it, it's hard, it's tough in the beginning, you've never done it before. But then the more and more you do it, the stronger you get. But also the stronger the inner bitch gets. It's never going to leave you. If the inner bitch truly would never leave, or would leave, then I would have never gone to the slump this summer, right? I would have just continued eating healthy and then had the perfect physique, and everybody else would have a perfect physique after training for 2 years. But no. The inner bitch never leaves. It doesn't just magically get easier, but what does happen is once you continuously repeat the hard tasks, it becomes habit. You get used to it from the theory of relativity. You get used to just saying no to the little bitch. You get used to training hard in the gym. You get used to sleeping on time. It becomes a habit. And then people wonder how you make it look so easy. It's because you've been doing it for years and you've gone past the hard phase. And all this stuff, there's so much discipline that goes into it, especially in the start, and that 10% of the time, just like today. I want to say it's 10% of the time, but I truly do believe it's lower. I feel like it's more like 5% of the time when you're pushing yourself and it's absolute shit, and the last thing you want to do is cardio and core and train hard and be focused and eat well, right? Perhaps it's 5%, perhaps it's 10%, perhaps it depends on the person, right? But 90% of the time, it's only fun. You get to feel good. You enter this mental state of gratefulness. And it's hard to be grateful when you're used to, if every single day you're used to having a meal on your dinner table, if you're used to having access to travel, to go to the gym, if you have access to a gym, if you have access to good food, if you have access to sleep, to good clothes, all this stuff, when you get used to these things, you lose the ability to be grateful for them because you've always had them. And that's something that I struggle with because I never had to go through a phase in my life. I mean, I'm only 20 years old, but I never had to go through a phase in my life where I didn't have food, didn't have water, didn't have the access to a gym. And for me to be grateful of my body, for me to be grateful for the ability to develop myself, to be grateful to eat good food, to be grateful to feel good, to have the ability to feel good and feel feelings, I had to begin journaling and meditating. Because the whole reason why it felt like only discipline and only hard and it was super tough for me to continue going every single day was because I was treating all this super disciplined work as torture. It felt so insanely difficult for me to wake up every single day and just eat the healthy food when I didn't want to. That 10% felt so difficult for me because my inner bitch gets stronger because I get tired from saying no to it, right? And the only way that I became better at that 10% of the time when it was tough and it's not fun anymore. And I just want to eat the unhealthy food. I just don't want to train hard. I don't want to skip the core. I want to skip the cardio because I hate being out of breath and I hate doing cardio and I hate going on a Stairmaster because it hurts my fucking knees, it hurts my Achilles, it hurts my calves, it burns, I'm sweating so much, all these things, right? The only way I began to be able to push through even more consistently was beginning to journal, beginning to write down manually thoughts that I am grateful for the body that I have. I am grateful for the land, the sea, the food, the water, the animals. I am grateful for the ability to self-develop. I am grateful for having a family, friends who truly care for me, the ability to help others, all these things. Sorry about that, but me manually creating these thoughts is what got me to make my mind genuinely think these thoughts. There's a whole thing about the way your brain works and thoughts and all these things, right? I don't want to get all into this video because it's already long as shit. But once you begin to write manual thoughts down, I'm grateful for this, I want to become this, I do this, and you take action on it. I'm genuinely thinking to myself, I'm grateful for this body. I'm genuinely thinking to myself, I'm grateful for the ability to push heavy weight. I'm grateful for the ability to develop my body. I'm grateful for the ability to eat good food. I'm grateful for having a family, right? And the way I began to be more grateful for my family is just by speaking to them more, showing them that I love and care for them. I'm writing down that I'm grateful for the ability to socialize. I'm starting to speak to more people in the gym, just being more friendly. I used to have such a tough time speaking to random strangers because I would project my insecurities on them, because I would feel like they thought that I was some sort of loser, right? I used to think all these negative things about myself, and the only way I could work my way around it was by journaling, meditating, and writing all this shit down. And looking at it and thinking to myself, this is the bullshit that's getting in my way from me being the authentic version of myself, the best version of myself, the version of myself who's actually able to be social. And once I got rid of those thoughts and gave my brain irrefutable evidence that people aren't thinking this, because when I go to speak to people, they're being genuinely kind and wanting to socialize with me when I'm at the gym, my brain starts believing that those are just limiting beliefs and they're bullshit. You cannot journal and meditate and manifest strictly through writing down on paper and thinking about things. You must give your brain irrefutable evidence through action that you are that version of yourself, that you are confident, that you are social, that you do push through the tough times when you don't want to train hard, when you don't want to eat the healthy food, when you don't want to go to sleep, when you don't want to turn your phone off, when all you want to do is just relax and stay in bed because you're tired from work, because you're tired from being consistent every single day, when you're tired from eating healthy food all the time, when you're tired from pushing yourself, when you're just tired from keeping on going, and you just keep going through that. That's that 10%, that's pure discipline. And that's what solidifies your identity. That's how you become your authentic self. That's when you conquer the inner bitch. I don't know how long this was, and I don't know how many people are really going to watch all the way through, but if you've made it this far, I want you to know that I'm truly grateful for you, and I truly want you to self-develop yourself and be the best version of yourself so you can be a kinder human being, so you can be the best version of yourself, so then you can help your family, so you can create friendships that truly last, so you can build the physique of your dreams, so you can be the disciplined version of yourself and have the confidence and stop hesitating when you want to make new friends, when you want to take that risk in your business, when you want to take that risk in your career, when you want to develop your career, when you want to do something that's outside of your comfort zone. You'll have the confidence. I want the best for you. I want you to genuinely take all the information that I gave in this video, and I truly hope that everything that I said in this video does help you. And I want you to act, because information without implementation, without action, is just useless. I've done it for years. I've read books, I've watched podcasts, I've researched and planned, but never took action and never was consistent through that action. I could go on a huge rant about how in high school I used to make so much. I used to research so much about how to be a better athlete, how to do this, how to do that, how to blah blah blah, all these things, and every single time I would start training to get more balance, to get leaner, to get healthy, I would only do it for a few months tops, and then quit because it got tough, right? But I guarantee you, if you just took raw action and stayed consistent every single day, you would improve so much more than doing 1,000,000 hours of research and then only being consistent for a month or two. Because through raw action, you would actually learn what works for you, what doesn't work for you. Okay? The only way the version of yourself who researches gets ahead of you is if he stays consistent as you would be with just raw action. Okay? I want you to take everything from this video to become the best version of yourself, to develop that lean physique, to develop that confidence, to be the version of yourself that you truly believe that you can be. And if you're scared of what people think, I'm scared too, okay? I'm scared and I'm afraid of what people think. Perhaps I'm not naturally a socially anxious person and all these things, right? But I naturally am afraid of people's opinions. Okay? And as much as I tell myself that I don't care, I do want people to like me, right? But you cannot go through life wanting to be a people pleaser, because it doesn't matter how nice you are to someone, there's always going to be somebody who dislikes you. Maybe there's going to be more people that dislike you than like you, okay? But you don't know. And you cannot go around life just wanting people to like you, okay? You cannot walk around like that. Because if you just walk around life with that sort of mindset, you're never going to get anywhere, because you're going to be too afraid to take a risk, because you're too afraid of judgment and people disliking you because you're trying to be your authentic self. You cannot care about other people's opinions, or else you'll be too afraid to take a risk that you genuinely wanted to take, and then when you're older and you're on your deathbed, you're only going to regret it, because it won't matter at that point. But right now, it only feels like it matters because you're in your current scenario, okay? It doesn't matter if one of your friends or some guy that you know is judging you for going to the gym because you're overweight or you're skinny or something. There's a vast majority of people who will be super supportive of you to go to the gym and start taking care of your health, okay? There's such a small percentage of those people that would judge you, and there's also a very small percentage chance of you finding out if people are judging you. But the reason why you're so afraid of it is because you keep on telling yourself every single day that you are a piece of shit, fat, lazy, stupid, whatever, right? Arrogant, whatever, right? And when you filter your world with that thought process, you only see when people judge you. You think that little stare, that little judgment look is them thinking that you're a fat ass, okay? And you validate that feeling because you've been telling yourself that your whole entire life, or whenever you became fat or whatever, right? And it's like, even if somebody genuinely looked at you disgusted, okay? You cannot let that get to your head. You need to continue pushing and becoming the best version of yourself. Lose the fat. Keep on showing up in the gym. Show up every single day. That person will have to respect you if you show up every single day, eat good food, be healthier, attain the physique. He will have to respect you because you put in the raw hard work. Okay? And if you're fat, lazy, arrogant, and all you do is watch Netflix, eat junk food, never go to the gym, complain about how painful it is, then you deserve to have people look at you disgusted and not caring about you and all the shit. But if you genuinely put in effort every single day to become the best version of yourself, and you eat healthy and you develop, and your physique is developing, you're becoming more charismatic, you're becoming better at socializing, all this, your confidence is growing. You deserve that too, because you're putting the effort, you're putting the hard work. Okay? Don't give up. There's light at the end of the tunnel. And keep on self-developing, keep on pushing through those tough times, because the tough times only happen 10% of the time. 90% of the time is genuinely just fun. You enjoy being healthy, you enjoy feeling energetic, you enjoy seeing the scale go down, you enjoy seeing your physique develop in the mirror every single week, every single month, every single year. I promise you it gets better.